welcome this morning. Welcome to our ashram. Isn't this stage beautiful? Yes. We have the amazing Bhakti House Band as our guest today. So before we get started, just a couple of announcements, and one is that the Bhakti House Band is here. Randall and Kristen and Tony made an amazing concert event, kirtan.
It was a full house.
It was a full house.
It's our first sold-out show.
It was a full house. This place was packed. It was amazing.
We were live.
And you didn't miss out because they're doing another one today at 1 o'clock. So that'll be really great. And after 1 o'clock, that'll go from 1 to 3, sort of, kind of. And then after that, anybody who's participated in one of their events is invited out to Lake Washita for island, boats, swimming, vegetarian potluck. So it's a full day. Oh, we may even do some chanting. Now, wouldn't that be a surprise? The other thing I really want you to know about is on Tuesday, we've got our next heart-centered meditation, and that's on the Facebook page, or if you want to know more about that, it's at 7 o'clock. Oh, it'll be downstairs, but it'll be right here. So stay tuned to our calendars. If you are our first time or you're not already and would like to be on our mailing list, we have little connection cards, and they're on the back. So just ask one of us or grab one of those and hand that in. We'll put you on our mailing list, and from there you can find our Facebook page, which is called Hot Springs Center for Spiritual. So, Alan, would you come light the candle, please? It's over here. We've moved it. And so we'll say our statement together, and then we'll go into an open prayer. The love-filled light of the Holy Spirit illumines our minds, increasing our awareness of divine guidance now. So we feel the light, activating not only our minds, but even more importantly, our and our hearts. And we open ourselves this morning to an experience of everything that happens here: the music, the chanting, the meditation, the message, the community. We open ourselves into oneness, for we are the center for spiritual oneness. In oneness, we welcome you. In oneness, we see you. In oneness, we honor you. And so it is. And so it is. Do you want us to stand? Usually we stand.
Yes.
Please stand and join us in our opening song.
Normally we do this one after a little one, but we're going to use this one as the one.
All right.
And it is called Shine.
All right. We know all about that.
As a young boy, I grew up in church, and this just kind of reminds me, this little light of mine. Anybody know that one?
It's funny because there's a guy that's playing on our new album, Andrew Fry. I know some of you may know him, but he is
Shine.
world class. Yeah, Shine. World class pianist. And when he came in to play on this, he wasn't able to be here today because he had a gig out of another state. But he said, "Girl, you're taking this one to church."
Take it to church.
Don't you know it's your light that lights the world?
Oh, yeah.
You get started. We'll get to the slide.
Yeah,
Working on it.
Yeah, it's closing in.
April, we do that.
5, 6, 7. Don't you know it's your light that lights the world? It's your light that lights the world. It's your light that lights the world. Oh, don't you know it's your light that lights the world? And it's your light that lights the world. It's your light that lights the world. time I first heard the call. Opened up heart first to it all. No backup, ships burned in the bay. There's no way out, no other way. I must move forward with this love that I hold. Into the forest, into the great unknown, bold. Holding the courage, obstacles before me. Fear comes in the dark of the night. Then you remind me, it's your light that lights the world. It's your light that lights the world. It's your light that lights the world. Oh, don't you know it's your light that lights the world? It's your light that lights the world. It's your light that lights the world. Oh, so let's let it shine. 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 As I've come from this path that I walk, there's a time to step it up into the freedom beyond the talk. How long will we live like dregs in the wine? It is written, have I not said that you are divine? Tell me what is it you plan to do with this one while the precious life you've been given? Suffering through for that someday dream? Must be something we're missing. I listen, ammunition, waiting to be. We were born to shine bright, happy, and free. Loca, summer star, sweet.
So as you take your seat, I invite you to just begin to shift gears as we take it down. Ready for preparing for a time of meditation.
So in order to be happy and free, we have to draw in to the center of our being. Switching gears. In Sanskrit and chanting is the fastest and least resistant way to take you to the center of your being. So I just invite you to, don't worry about translating anything, just I want you to feel it. We're going to use just a little short chant to take us into the meditation. I want you to pay attention to how quiet and how quickly your mind quiets, how everything becomes effortless. So it's Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
And a little Shivo hum.
Shivoham.
So just close your eyes. Check in with your breath. Deepen a little bit. A deep inhale.
yourself to go deeper. Allow yourself to fall into the stillness. Let the music, the vibration activate your inner divinity. With your inhale, open. And your exhale, release. Feel the activation in the depths of your being. Feel the very cells of your being igniting. Being ignited. Igniting the truth of who you are. Feel the recognition of this truth. Spirit recognizing you. You recognizing your divinity. Sinking even more deeply. Awakening even more fully. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the quickening, feel the awakening. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, take the next step of the journey led by Randall and Kristen and Tony. And for this portion of the meditation, we say, "Oneness."
You're beautiful. You have so much to share. Can you take just a little? Or do you even dare? What is right with me in my life? So tired of looking for the wrong. I can see right if I try. The fires can only burn so long, till there's nothing left to give, no more life to live.
into the flow.
Everybody breathe. Just feel. Just feel. I often use the language breathe and feel, but we don't often feel what we're feeling in here today. But we can. Part of the reason I know we can is because a little bit ago Randall said, well, maybe we become, instead of the Bhakti House Band, the Center for Spiritual Living House Band. And I said, oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Kristen, but I guess you're moving.
I would love
Never
to.
actually officially named ourselves Bhakti House Band, which just kind of evolved because my house is called the Bhakti House.
Well, there we go. So, or maybe we become the Bhakti House Center for Spiritual Oneness. Or, oh, wow. So what we want to do today, right, is start here and take it deeper. Because this is the journey. It is the journey. It is the dance between our divinity and our humanity. It's not either or. It's both and. I feel like I'm almost standing in front of you, but I'm good here. I don't want to step on those lights.
No.
It's both and. You know, there's a story, a parable, a fable, if you will, about the gods who were watching humanity, and humanity was getting, maybe a little cocky, you could say, arrogant, maybe you could say, out of control, maybe you could say. This was actually a long time ago, but you might relate to present day. I mean, just saying. And the gods said, you know what, we can't, this won't do. We have to hide their divinity from them because they're abusing their power. And so he called a council of gods together, and they said, well, where should we hide? Let's put it on the highest mountain. And he said, no, those humans, they're pretty crafty. They'll figure out how to get to the highest mountain. We don't want to do that. Where else could we do it? We could hide it in the depths of the ocean. Nah, that won't really work either. Those crafty humans, they'll figure out how to get down there, and they'll find it again. And then one God, he said, I have an idea. We'll hide it in the depths of their being, and they'll never think to look for it there. Now, most of us in this room, I'm going to just go out on a limb and go, probably most of us know that divinity within us. We know we have access to that point of us within us. But what if we don't even know it yet? You know, centuries ago, millennia ago, when the spiritual people who were the masters, they got to go live up on a mountain all by themselves. We don't get to do that anymore, but we're not called to do that anymore. We are called to integrate our divinity into our humanity. We're called to integrate our humanity into our divinity. Now, in a lot of circles, we talk about the difference of our humanity and our divinity. We kind of poo-poo our humanity. We want to make it go away. We want to make it stop. We want to push it away. We don't like the challenges of our humanity. Anyone? But that's not our work. Our work is to dance. Our work is to integrate, to embody. And the more that we awaken to our divinity, actually, the more that we can embody our humanity. Because we are, if we were just divine and we were living on some other planet or some other world, you know, there's just divine. But the fact that we're on the planet, we get. I mean, we're so incredibly blessed with our humanity. Our humanity is the polarity, right? The paradox. It's the hot and the cold and the good and the bad and the love and the anger and the forgiveness and the unforgiveness. It's all of it. It's the whole bundle. And when some of us start first waking up, we go, well, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with my anger. I'm going to push it under. I'm not going to deal with the fact that I had trauma in my life. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm fine. You know what fine means? I can't tell you because I'm mine.
Okay.
Okay, freaking, insecure, neurotic, and explosive. Now, freaking is not what I would have said had it not been fun. Might. But because I might, we're just fine. But we're not fine. We get to dive into that. As Kristen said last night, we get to heal our wounds. We get to embrace them. We get to go through them, because whatever our wounding is really a crack in the veneer of our humanity that allows our divinity. Let me say that again. Whatever the wounding is, whether it's our grief or a diagnosis or a heartbreak or a financial crisis, whatever it is in our humanity, it is a crack in the veneer to open us to divinity. What if every single thing that happened to us, I'm not going to call it good, but what if every single thing that ever happened to us was to lead us to a deeper awareness of that divinity, to a deeper awareness of that which is true about who we are? Does our world need that? Yes. Our world needs us. There's a mystic, a 17th century mystic, I think it's Turcom or some Turcom, am I saying that right? Anyway, I can't remember exactly. And he has a little poem and he says, at first he was confused, that's the title of the poem. He says, at first he was confused, but I could no longer hide the truth. So I began to tell the truth. So I started to call my dog God. At first, he looked confused, and then he smiled, and then he even began to dance. And now, he doesn't even bite. I wonder if that would work with humans. I wonder if that would work with humans. I wonder if we began to see humans, those we love and those we struggle with, those who are our family and our friends and our neighbors and those across the world, and those in our politics, and those in our leadership, and those who are homeless, and those who are diseased, and those who are dying, and those who are being birthed. I wonder if we began to see all of humanity as the divinity, that we wouldn't change. That we wouldn't change. Because it's not about out there. It's not about getting out there to change. It's never going to get out there. The out there is never going to change until we realize the truth of who we're here to be. Thank you. I think I'm quoting you from last night, which is so funny. So here's the deal. Kristen and I met last night, but we were on the phone this past week, and we're like finishing each other's sentences. She's like, what's your talk title? I'm like, this, the dance between humanity and divinity. She goes, that's our whole mission vision. I'm like, no kidding, that's so wild. We kept having these conversations. And it was wonderful because it's truth.
It is. I wanted to interrupt you
Please.
so many times in this.
Already, she wanted to interrupt me.
But I love, like, in what you said, it's just like what Rumi said, you know, the crack is where the light gets in. That's one of the
I have another one of your quotes that I was going to use. Surrender your mind to the rhythm of the heart.
rhythmic groove.
Another rhythm. Groove.
It's like
Rhythm. And Rudy also says, he's got a whole little poem, but the last line of the poem is something like, however many words you hear, however many messages you hear, it comes down to come dance with me. Yes. Come dance with me. You use that one too? You have that song?
I'm not gonna sing it today, but the next one.
Okay, next time. Well, because you're now the Bhakti Center for Spiritual Oneness house band. Right? So I wanted to share this. I found this. Awakening is really what it's all about, but it's not just awakening. It's embodying, integrating, embracing our humanity. So this is from the Science and Non-Duality. It says, awakening is not only about realizing what we are. Notice this is what, not who. It is also about the unfolding of the fullness of our human expression. It is about coming to live here within this human experience in a very different way. Not perfectly, but fully. When the sense of lack and fear are realized as unfounded. Right? When you realize that lack and fear are unfounded, and lack and fear touch every survival emotion you have. Lack and fear touches everything that is unlike neutral or love. If you're not in neutral or love, you're in lack or fear. When you realize it is unfounded, how can that understanding then not impact how we live and relate? It all works together perfectly. This dance called the human experience of the formless and the form. When we realize our formless essence, there is then the opportunity to realize the essence of all forms as one with our own. See, the thing is, the more that we embrace our divinity, the more that we allow for our humanity. You were talking about Ganesh last night, which I love, which was not a part of my talk today, but this all was before last night. But that idea of Ganesh, the elephant in the middle of the road, right? The obstacle in the middle of the road, what do we do with it? Well, in our humanity, we want to fight it, or we want to ignore it, or we want to make it go away, or we want to pretend it's not there. But as we embrace our divinity, we actually create space around it. And then that obstacle becomes the way to more divinity. How did I say that? Close to what you said last night?
Yeah, it is. It's all about the expansion of awareness. It is the removal of obstacles. It's not about anything outside of you changing. It's about you making that shift, you expanding, so that you can embrace anything and all things in this world with love.
So I'm just smiling because I had a thought this morning. I said, well, when I got there to the center this morning, I should talk to Kristen about having a dialogue, and I never got around to it.
What's also funny is I love that you shared that about the story about the gods, because that's the story of Hanuman, the great monkey god. Is that he was born very, very powerful, and he was misusing his powers, and he was playing tricks on the sages. And the sages said, no, don't do that. You're going to be sorry. And he did it again. They said, okay, last warning. And then he did it again. And so he says, okay, I'm cursing you to forget who you are for your own good until it's time for you to stand up, to rise up and fulfill your dharma, your divine purpose. And so he did. And it took, and here's the interesting, because this is how, it took the community to remind him who he was when it was time for him to serve Rama. And so it's not just, it's the individual and the collective. You have to come together in this, and to help each other remember, who we are. Because what I always tell my Thursday nighters, nobody can see their own butt. You gotta have a mirror. Fat, we gotta take care of each other, right?
Right.
The thing is, it's time. It's time. It's time for us to take care of each other. It's time for us to come together in our dharma. It's time to come together in our awakening. It's time to do it, and we can't do it alone. The book that I wrote that came out last year, The Paradox of Awakening, is one of those paradoxes is you can't do it alone and you have to do it alone. You know, you have to do your own awakening, but you can't do it isolated anymore. We are here to do it collectively. And so it's time for this community to really step up and wake up to another layer of awareness of our divinity together. Part of what we're doing here is looking to see, to discover, to have revealed what is our greater purpose, what is our greater why. We know individually, we've got, 65 different individual whys and whats, which is fabulous. But as we come together for that greater good, for that singular purpose, that dharma of the center, right? That sole purpose of the center, that will catapult us into a way of being together that we, in my humble opinion, have not yet quite achieved.
And you draw communities together.
Yeah.
I mean, because now we've got our unity, the Unity Fort Worth, is now up here, and now they're connected, and so you realize your community is all over the world, and it's, having events of connecting and bringing people together, having little pockets. That's where the change happens. It doesn't have to be some big giant, movement. It's these tiny movements happening all at the same time, beginning to connect.
And quickening. Quickening. The image that I remember who knows Light Bright? You know that game where you put the lights in?
Oh, yeah.
That dates me, I know. But I've always had that image when I talk about the communities and the lights. And my history, my background is as a Unity minister, so we see all the Unity churches. It doesn't have to be that. It can be any community that's waking up. But each of those is a light across the globe. And as that network of connection, whether you know them or not, is the entire globe is being surrounded in a web of people who are doing this work, who are doing the awakening work, who are connecting with one another, who are coming together for a greater purpose.
Which is love, because love is the answer.
Because love is the answer, yeah. Yeah, you can have that window, but not this century. So the end of this quote, I just want to share, just to finish it, the beliefs and feelings that anything is a problem or is something we just have to put up with all the way. The idea that anything is a problem or something we just have to put up with will fall away, and a greater freedom to dance within this beautiful play of form unfolds, which in turn reveals an even deeper understanding of our formless essence. There's an ever-deepening spiral of aligned understanding, sensing, and expressing as we consciously dance the dance of our humanity and our divinity. As we consciously dance the dance of our humanity and our divinity, as we land into that deep place, into the vibration, the feel, the sense where we were at the end of that song, and we use that as our starting point to dive deeper into our humanity, we end up embracing our divinity. So I use humanity as sort of a horizontal axis. Our humanity kind of started on the day we were born and will end on the day we will die. It kind of loosely, but we'll just go with that for this lifetime. But our divinity is a vertical axis. And that is the infinite. So our humanity is the relative, it's the material, it's the particle. The divinity is the infinite, it is the wave, it is source, it is divine. And to begin the dance, or to further the dance, or all of the dance is found in that intersection between the human and the divine. We can say it's the heart, but it's deeper than the heart. It's more of the spiritual heart. It's that place where it actually becomes a portal to a new dimension of consciousness, that it actually becomes a portal to see different, to be different, to allow different, to embrace. I keep saying that, to embrace our humanity, to allow our humanity to lead us deeper into our divinity, and to allow our divinity to lead us deeper into our humanity. It's a journey. It's It's an adventure. It can be fun. It's always expansive. It's not always easy. But again, that's why we have each other, we have the community, we have each other's backs. As we know our divinity, we know our humanity. As we know our humanity, we come to know our divinity. We know our divinity in ourselves, and we see it in others. We see it in others, and we begin to see it in ourselves. It's not either or, it is both and, which is why we call it a dance. Will you join us, not only today, but in your own heart, in your own experience, in your own commitments to life on this planet? Will you join us in making your own personal commitment to your own dance, to your own further exploration, to be the difference, to be the change that you want to see in the world, to be the one that changes? Because it's not going to change out there until it changes in here. It's not going to change in here until you go deeper into your own awareness of the divine being that you already are. So please join us in the dance.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, the version of this song is called Dance of the Day.
What's funny is one of the quotes of one of my teachers that I live by is the capacity in which you can experience and embrace your humanity is the capacity in which you can embrace and experience your divinity. I'm going to say it again. The capacity in which you can embrace and experience your humanity is a capacity in which you can embrace and experience your divinity. And I love in Eastern teachings that the feminine, the goddesses, whatever you want to call it, that is all about the birthing of the divine into humanity, because you have to have both. You know, you've got the divine masculine, that's the seed. You know, and then you've got the divine feminine, that's what's going to draw that seed in and bring whatever your purpose is in this life into fruition, so that you can birth it into the world. And so, you know, without the dance, you know, without the coming together of the humanity and the divinity, the masculine and the feminine, then we can't realize our divinity into this world. You know, it's our divine feminine nature that births our divinity into this world. It's beautiful. So that's what this song's about. So here's how it goes.
This one is a sing-along.
It's a sing-along, everybody. So while you want to get up, it's called Hey Ma. Okay, so Hey Ma is like Hey Ma, but a little more reverent. Okay, so we sing Hey Ma together. I'm not going to do call and response on that. And then we're going to go into the different aspects of the divine feminine. We have the Sita Ma.
Sita Ma.
Sita Ma. And that's all. What our Fort Worth people, what's Sita? You can get it. Not awake enough yet. I don't know. Yeah, it means furrow, it means ground. You have to have a ground to put a seed in, right? I mean, what good is a box of seeds if it's sitting on a shelf in your garage? It's just seeds. It's like we can sit here and we can talk about our divine all day long, but until we bring it down, all the way down the chakra system, to root it into the ground, it's of no use, you know? People just getting high over here. Oh, let's get high on the chance. That's all, you know. No, it's like you have to have that full spectrum. You've got to be able to pull that divine energy down to the ground. Sita Ma. Then we have Vidya Ma. That's our the goddess of wisdom. We have Lakshmi Ma. You guys know Lakshmi Ma, right? What's Lakshmi?
Lunch meat.
No, it's not Lakshmi. I know somebody would say, you should say Lakshmi Ma.
I remember what she
You're just
said.
getting spiritually fed, maybe. So it's Lakshmi. She's the goddess of expansion, prosperity, abundance. which is our birthright. That's what we're here to have. Then we have Jai Jai Ma Om Jai Jai Ma. Who knows what Jai means?
Victory.
Victory. Victory to that divine feminine. This is the true divine feminine, the ability to birth our divinity into the world. That's what its purpose is. Then we have Devi Ma, and that's just the mother of light. Ganga Ma, the mother of flow. Shakti Ma, that's Shakti is that powerful divine feminine energy that flows through everyone and everything. All right, so we'll do those call and response on Hey Ma and the Jai Jai Ma part. We all sing together, okay?
Hey, Ma.
Now we're gonna have fun.
Hey, Ma. Go to Tony.
Rising from the earth Aliza. Namaste Shai, Namaste Shai, Namaste Shai. Nama. Hey ma!
So with the generosity of your heart for the greater good of the greater whole, we say this together. As I accept God's gift of everything to me, and I graciously share my abundance, put into action the law of sharing and receiving.
I can.
Let's get it.
Like what Aliza said, it's our responsibility to go inside, to seek out that light, and to shine it as brightly as we can. We can't wait for our families, our friends, our communities. We can't wait for our government to shine their light, make everything better. It's not going to happen. We have to shine the light. It's like I was saying last night, that Guruji, his greatest, he said the greatest mantra in all the world was mind your own business. That means you draw in. When you shine your light and you're around others, they're going to shine their light too.
That's right. Mind your own business, mind your own side of the street.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Keep your side of the street clean.
Leave me alone.
Right. And so we offer the blessing for this offering. We say thank you for all of the gifts that have been given today. The gifts of finances, absolutely, money, absolutely, time and talent, and all of the many people that are a part of this center to keep it running, all of the people who were a part of the events this weekend. We say thank you, God. And we know that as you give, so you receive. And so we see each and every one of you blessed by the activity of spirit, by the activity of the divine, as these gifts go forth and do mighty work in the world. Thank you, God. Thank you all. So it is. So it is. Just a quick reminder, we've got the Gayatri at 1 o'clock, so come back for that if you'd like to, or stick around for that. Between now and then, we've got meditation on Tuesday night. We've got lots of products up here, CDs and t-shirts and shawls and mala beads and all kinds of stuff. So come out, be sure to say hello to Randall, Kristen, and Tony.
And that supports the charitable.
And this
Thank
was
you,
our
that supports their
nonprofit,
foundation.
Yes.
Yes.
Conscious Living Empowerment Foundation. And if anyone needs another charity to donate to, we're here for that too. 501c3. So.
Awesome. And so in closing, we invite you to stand one more time and a closing song.
All right.
And I would, this may seem unorthodox, but I would love for us to all, can we all stand in like a big circle facing each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so important include us in the circle though too.
Include them
Christy,
in
go
the
to
circle.
Yeah, start at the table. So we can
We need to go in circle.
We just want to be a part of the circle too. Yeah. Because it's important that we remind each other, when somebody is being ugly or is not standing in their light, it's like to tell them they know they're being ugly. Nobody needs anyone to tell them they're being ugly. What they need someone to remind them of their light. So may this song remind us to remind others and ourselves of the light within, that we're here to shine. Hey, what's going on? How can I support you? All right, so you guys can see the words. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya Lakshmi Narayana. All right?
Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Hari Om Namo Narayanaya. Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana. Lakshmi Narayana. You are the love. You are the sun, shining the light for all Hari Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Hari Om Namo Narayana. Lakshmi 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 Narayana. Lakshmi
And everyone says Namo Namah. Namo Namah. Namo Namah. Namo Namah. Reverence, always reverence. Namaste. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Star, for doing everything to get them here. Go for it. Have a great day. See you right here, 1 o'clock. About an hour.
Guys. Hey guys. So, can I get everybody's attention for 1 second? So there's a book in the back, a green book. I would love to stay in touch with you, and especially even for our nonprofit, we like to turn in numbers. So please sign in our little green book right there. You can share your email or not.